Welcome to Tokyo Port Bowl in Tokyo, Japan for the championship round finals of the AMF Japan Cup. I'm Mike Durbin along with PBA Hall of Famer Marshall Holman. Now let's take a look at our 5 contestants. Couple of stars in the opening match.
Norm Duke versus Ryan Shafer, and the winner of that match will meet Walter Ray Williams, the #1 ranked player in the world. In our semifinal match, the winner will be going against Doug Kent, and the championship match will be Parker Bohn III.
And in our opening match, we have Ryan Shafer taking on Norm Duke, who's already bowled frame 1 and has a strike.
Here we'll get a good look at Ryan Shafer, a very strong player. You see the revolutions and a perfect shot.
Ryan Shafer, small guy, just 5'8", 150 pounds. He was the 1987 PBA Rookie of the Year. Getting better each year on tour.
He really has improved. He's worked very hard, Mike, as we can see. He's been a pro for 11 years. And I think he really takes a lot of pride in the fact that he has improved, especially his spare shooting. He was not known as a very good spare shooter at all when he first came up, and really has worked out very well.
All these wonderful shots we're getting here are courtesy of NHK from Japan. They were on site there. Try for a quick double.
Another beautiful shot. You can see that ball stopping the arrows at approximately 7-4, going all the way out to about 7, and then making a hard charge. The backhands are really flying.
And as we said, his opponent, 33-year-old Norm Duke, the 1994 PBA Player of the Year. He's already won and has a strike zone.
Trying for a double
here in frame number 2.
Got a great shot from Norm Duke. Mike, you can see Norm is playing a little more of a straighter trajectory, not throwing the ball as far from the inside to the outside of the lane. And Norm has the ability to do most anything he wants with a bowling ball. He can throw the big hook, or he can throw it straighter. He feels it's more advantageous to go with the straight shot today.
And no one knows his game or the game of bowling better than Norm Duke, and we see his heels hanging over the back of the approach.
Takes a 6-step approach, sends that ball around the 14th board out to 12, back in, kicks that 10-pin out, starts out with a fast 3-bagger.
Leading by 10 pins in the bottom of the 3rd frame.
As we can see, Norm Duke, once again, this replay shows very, very fluid motion, ball crossing, as I said, around the 14th board. You see the 6-pin really kick out that 10, and boy, the bowlers like to see that.
Not covering a lot of boards in contrast with Ryan Shafer.
Yeah, Ryan is covering quite a few boards, sending the ball from way deep to way out, coming back. Oh, and a powerful shot, but leaves the 10-pin. Maybe that steep angle coming back into the pocket is the reason that he wasn't able to get that 10-pin to fall.
He'll convert the spare, switching balls, going straighter.
Very, very hard and straight. This is the area of the game that I said earlier that Ryan has really improved on. He used to have trouble making these spares. We'll see how he does here. Should be real hard, real straight, and no problem.
Ryan Shafer through 3 frames, trailing by 11 pins in the match right at this point in time, but it's early yet.
Very early. Ryan Shafer came out on tour in 1987's PBA Rookie of the Year. And as you said, has been making improvements in each and every year.
And we can see the ball return there saying Tokyo Port Bowl. That ball return way at the back of the approach, and you like that.
Mike, if it was up to me, every ball return in bowling would be just like those. You could play any part of the lane you want. There's no ball return to get in your way, and guys can get very, very deep in the lane. Ooh, and virtually the same shot he threw in the last lane. Fortunate to get the 7-pin out, but the ball coming in that steep angle doesn't quite get the 10-pin to come out. If that ball would have been a little bit fuller in the pocket or maybe a little bit lighter, probably would have struck. Got sort of in that half zone.
We see that pocket 7-10 on regularity anymore in bowling.
Yeah, and it's a combination of the way the backhands hook so much, as we see Shafer throwing hard and straight for the spare.
Ryan Shafer, after 4 frames, trails by 12 pins. He's behind, but he can come back when we come back after this.
The AMF bullwhip. Extraordinary power and control.
Hope my car gets fixed today.
And my sink. And my furnace. And my lawnmower.
What? You idiot! You're gonna get us caught.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down,
Eddie!
make it a Bud Light.
ESPN's coverage of the Pro Bowlers Tour is brought to you by AMF, where bowling always means fun. Mike Durbin, along with Marshall Holman, we're at Tokyo Port Bowl. It's the opening match, and that man trails by 12 pins as Norm Duke bowls in the fourth frame.
Oh, you can see a great reaction from Norm Duke. Did not really send the pins over there real fast. Just a nice light push of the 5-pin into the 7. All 10 pins down.
Is that caused by that straighter trajectory?
Yes, it certainly is, Mike. Norm has got the ball rolling the proper way in order to maximize the potential of him throwing strikes. He's got the ball rolling softly into the pocket, not really using a ball that is an extraordinarily powerful ball either. It is a reactive resin ball, but it's one that's made to more just roll and not really dive.
Kind of a gentle arc.
A gentle arcing ball.
Trying for 5 in a row.
Well, almost anybody's ball would strike if they can hit there, and Norm Duke looking very, very confident early in this match.
And that increases his lead to 32 pins.
As we take a look at that profile view of Norm Duke, very, very balanced at the line, and you can see he wanted that strike badly.
Ryan Shafer trying to get something going to get back in this match. On the right lane, 5th frame. And he does.
Well, Ryan's back in the match with the strike in the 5th frame. Really needs to get one in the 6th to cut into that lead.
Well, if he does, he'll only trail by 22 pins.
We'll take a look at that powerful ball. Look how far to the right the ball goes and then just dives back left into the pocket.
So does your ball hook that much, Marshall, or is that even more than you do?
That's probably even more than I would hook the ball. I used to hook the ball quite a bit. Still hook it quite a bit, but not to the extent of a Ryan Shafer.
6th frame, trying for a double. Ooh, a little break there.
Well, and that's the kind of break that the more of the straighter trajectory ball would usually get, the trip 4. Ryan Shafer keeping that ball very close to his left ankle at release. A little bit of loft, and hold it, ball, stop. Finally, a break for me.
And it did listen. Norm Duke, 6th frame, trying for 6 in a row. Perfect balance and right hit again.
Once again, he gets the 5-pin to gently go over there and take care of the pins on the left-hand side of the lane. You know, earlier I was talking about the reasoning for leaving the 7-10 splits, and I mentioned the fact the balls are diving into the pocket. The pins are a little bit lighter. The balls have the reactive resin, which makes them even more powerful. So you have to be careful as to how much you hook the ball into the pocket. You want to make sure that you know when the advantage is to go a little straighter and the advantage to go with a little more hook, and that's what really makes Norm Duke, you know, such a good player.
Trying for 7 in a row. Right on target. Perfect. Norm Duke with 7 in a row here. Ryan Shafer now trailing in this match by 42 pins.
And as we can see, Norm's ball hitting the pocket, just a beautiful shot, all 10 in the pit. Norm's won 2 tournaments already last year with the Iowa Foresters, and
Ebonite Challenge.
That's correct. Thanks, Mike.
Trying for 3 in a row. Oh, and a solid 10 in the 7th frame for Ryan Shafer.
You know, Ryan has not made a bad shot. He's left 2 flat 10 pins and 1 ringing 10 pin. And right now he finds himself in a position where it's going to be very, very difficult for him to get back into this match.
If he converts this, he'll trail by 43 pins. At the 10 pin.
Hard and straight. Really, he's doing everything that he possibly can right now. It's just a matter of Norm Duke carrying just a lot better. As you can see, with 7 in a row, Ryan Shafer only has 2 doubles to show for his efforts.
8th frame on the left lane, using lanes 21 and 2 here at Tokyo Port Bowl. Needs to take it out to have any kind of chance at all in this match. Let's it go. Well, he says the light hit. Will it fall? Oh! Norm Duke with 7 in a row, 5 more, and it's worth $100,000. Will he get it? We'll find out when we come back.
Did someone say Wings? Get tickets now for the Wings home opener versus Gary Gate and the Baltimore Thunder. This year, get ready for more scoring. Bring it on. More hitting. Bring it on. More action. More excitement than ever before. The Wings take on the Baltimore Thunder. Catch all the action this Friday, 7:30 at the Core State Center. Tickets start at just $13. Available at the box office and Ticketmaster. Get ready to take off. Bud Light presents the high-flying Philadelphia Wings. Get on board.
You're going to love Faulkner Mazda. You're going to love Faulkner Mazda's selection.
When I came here shopping for my automobile, they had every model, color. It's Faulkner Mazda.
You're going to love Faulkner Mazda's people.
At Faulkner Mazda, they're great people. They're just really great people.
And you're going to love Faulkner Mazda's low prices.
We looked around a lot of places, but when we bought our Mazda, we really got a good deal. Faulkner Mazda really gave us the best deal there was.
Faulkner Mazda, Northeast Philadelphia.
Back at Tokyo Port Bowl, it's the 8th frame. Norm Duke working on 7 in a row, Marshall.
And Norm Duke, in 50 championship round appearances, is 42, 37, and 1, with a 223 average, looking to increase that average by about, 77 pins this game. He's got the 8th one, Mike.
Keeps coming in light on that right lane. It seems like he's more wired on the left lane.
He's coming in light on that right lane, but I don't see him making any type of adjustments either on the approach or with the way he's throwing the ball. It's working right now. He's going to stay with it.
He's getting strikes, why change, huh?
And I certainly would not move at all. Right now, he is making a little bit of adjustment in his thumb hole, adding a little bit of tape. He does that quite often, and that's just to get a little better feel. You know, as you bowl and it's warm out there right now, the thumb has a tendency to shrink a little bit or swell a little bit. He just adjusts the tape.
Would you do that, working on 8 in a row?
Not a chance. But I'm not Norm Duke. He's his own man, and here he goes. It looks like another good shot, Mike. And you're right. He is wired in on lane 21, hitting high flush.
Norm Duke, 35 career 300 games, trying for 36.
Just take a look at this beautiful balance at the point of release. The ball makes that nice slow arc into the pocket, and every pin does its job.
Well, he's had them all like that on that left lane. Ryan Shafer basically just trying to stay out of the way right now. He's bowled a decent game, but he's nowhere close.
And Ryan, with six appearances on television, averaging under 200 at 196, he's not going to win this game either. He's going to bowl a good game, missing the pocket here in that frame, but really made a lot of great shots. Just not able to stay up with Norm Duke as far as the carry is concerned.
Well, it's hard to stay with the guy that's perfect.
When they never miss, it's a little tough to keep up.
Ryan Shafer at the 2-8, just trying to convert the spare, finish the game, and then be a spectator.
Yeah, he wants to just get out of Norm Duke's way. I think right now he'd like to see Norm Duke get the 300 game. A nice spare. Just more experience for Ryan Shafer. Even though Norm Duke is just a couple of years his senior, he has a lot more experience as far as winning tournaments and bowling on televised finals.
Well, he started when he was 18. He's the youngest champion in PBA history when he won in Cleveland when he was 18 years old.
I remember that championship. I was there. I think he disposed of me in match play rather easily then.
10th frame, opening match, Ryan Shafer just finishing it up.
Can strike out for 227, Mike, and there's a great shot. You know, even though he's out of the wood and Norm Duke is going to be the winner of this game, Ryan has a lot of pride, and he wants to finish the best he can.
Again, goes through the same routine, even though he's out of the match. You'd never know it by looking at him.
No, he's still concentrating. Strike here will put him into the 220s.
Now that 10-pin carries. It always carries when you're out of the wood. See a nice crowd here on hand at Tokyo Port Bowl.
I'm sure you probably recognize a lot of the spectators, a lot of the participants, both on the Japanese side and the American side in the audience today.
And we see stands down the side of the lanes as he goes through the hard, leaves the 6'10", finishes with 225. But now all eyes are on Norm Duke as he steps up 3 strikes and he's $100,000 richer.
And right now, Mike, all Norm is thinking about is just continuing to use the same form that he's used previously on this lane to throw all the strikes. You don't want to change anything. You want to take a deep breath. Well, something must have distracted Norm. He's going to put the ball down and start over.
He doesn't like that tape. He's taking it back out, resituating it in the thumb hole. Why is he doing that?
Well, apparently it might have, risen a little bit in the thumb, and he didn't quite like the feel of it. Wants to get the exact feel. Does not want to throw this ball until he's ready. He knows the importance of 3 more strikes.
410. He certainly threw a party. He should have stuck with a light hit.
He was doing great throwing that 5-pin into the 7. That time he throws the ball, just makes a great shot. Ball hooks up to the pocket and leaves the ringing 10.
Wow.
I don't believe he made an adjustment on that. As you can see, Norm kind of joking around with the crowd. He knows what it meant.
Doesn't switch balls to shoot the 10-pin, just change hand release. Has no trouble. Big smile, but going on in that brain as a catch thruster says, well, I had a chance and I made a great shot.
You can see he's sort of mocking some type of nervousness. He didn't look nervous when he made the first shot, but you have to know that with 9 in a row and the chance of 3 more for a 300 game on television, $100,000 bonus, got to be a lot of nerves inside.
And he says, well, that light hit wouldn't have worked anyway. Finishes with 278. He's a winner in our opening match, 278. To Ryan Shafer's 225. So he'll move on in the championship round finals of the AMF Japan Cup. In his next match, he will take on Walter Ray Williams Jr. We'll be back for that match right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Some say winning isn't everything. Some say losing builds character. Some say it's not whether you win or lose, but how you play the game. Some say statements like these were made up by people who don't use ebonite equipment.
Door's stuck. Got a door that sticks? Don't call a carpenter, call a golfer. Because a golf tee here, under the hinge, will help a sticking door swing free. Noisy phone? Don't call the phone company, fix it with a hairdryer. Presenting the new Fix-It-Yourself manual from Reader's Digest, your secret weapon to fixing anything and everything around the house. Leaky water heater? Don't call a plumber, just shut it off, then use pliers here. These are the real secrets to fixing things, all made simple with 3,000 step-by-step pictures. Noisy toilet? Fix it yourself using no tools at all. VCR eats your favorite video? Don't call a repairman. Use a screwdriver here to fix a broken tape.
Call now for your 7-day free preview of the new Fix-It-Yourself manual. Keep it for 4 easy payments of $8.74 each, or return it and owe us nothing. Just call 1-800-652-1200. That's 1-800-652-1200.
You know all those stories you hear about how good it was and how much fun we had and how young we all used to be, about how much it all mattered and how much we all cared and how no one has ever done it higher or faster or harder stories you hear, they're all true.
Mike Durbin along with Marshall Holman, Tokyo Port Bowl in Tokyo, Japan for the championship round finals of the AMF Japan Cup. In match number 1, Norm Duke thrilled us all by starting with the first 9, finishing with 278. He was had a victory over Ryan Shafer, who had 225. Now, though, he gets 3-time PBA Player of the Year, Walter Ray Williams Jr., the #1 rated bowler in the world forever.
Well, that's absolutely right, Mike. And, you know, where in the last match, Norm Duke was the one with the vast experience with the 50 telecasts. Well, I don't think those 50 telecasts are going to bother Walter Ray Williams Jr. He's had 97 telecasts. So experience on both sides as Norm Duke gets ready to throw his opening shot in the first frame.
On this left lane that he never missed in match 1, and he still hasn't missed it. If he'd have finished on that lane, he might have done it, Marsh.
I agree with you. He really had great command of that lane, and maybe Walter Ray Williams Jr. has decided that, boy, he's bowled so good on the left-hand lane. Let's make sure he finishes on the right. As you can see, in the power rankings, he's been #1 for 49 consecutive weeks, and is due to shot something like that.
What a competitor he is. His goal is to win PBA Player of the Year and World Horseshoe Pitching Champion in the same year.
Well, he certainly has a better chance of doing that than any other bowler I know of. He's an excellent horseshoe pitcher, and he really, I think he probably enjoys pitching horseshoes even more than he does bowling, and I've watched him. It's pretty impressive.
Well, he's won that title, the world title, 6 times as he trips the 4 for a double in frame 2.
Now, that's a shot that's not unusual. We saw, as we see him once again throwing this in a replay, great extension through the ball. Watch the trip of the 4-pin. Not unusual for someone who throws the ball as straight as Walter Ray Williams likes to throw it. We saw Ryan Shafer trip a 4-pin from a steep angle. You see it usually more often with the straighter. Come on. Oh, well, there's a very friendly little tip of the 8-pin.
Norm Duke getting the almost a bucket crumbler there, Marshall.
Very fortunate, very light in the pocket, everything tripped out, and I think Norm is saying to himself, well, how come I couldn't do that in the 10th frame of the last game?
Well, he hit it too good. Left that 10-pin in the 10th frame, and again, he's fiddling with that tape.
Well, he's fighting to get the perfect feel.
Now, why is it so important to get that good feel, Marshall?
Well, it's more important for Norm than it is for maybe other players. I would just usually satisfied if I could get a decent feel of the ball. Well, it must have felt good enough to trip a 4-pin for Norm Duke, as he takes a 10-pin lead with that strike in the 3rd frame.
Well, he gets the light hit in frame 2, high hit in frame 3.
We'll watch the ball going out to about the same place, but hooking a little higher, and maybe that lane is starting to hook a little more. You know, that was the lane that Norm Duke was hitting high flush on. Something like Walter Ray Williams just did there on lane 22.
Walter Ray, 38 years of age, 6'2", 200 pounds. Has won 24 titles, has 29 second-place finishes.
Yeah, he wants to have more first-place finishes than seconds, and boy, he's really going to have to do some great bowling and get a few breaks in order to catch up with those second-place finishes. But in any case, what a great career he's already had, and looks like he'll be bowling great for years to come.
And that's the reason why. Walter Ray with 4 in a row. Will he keep it going? Well, we'll find out when we come back.
Something hot, something new, something colorful is coming to bowling from the PBA. To order your all-new official PBA shirts by Munsingwear, just call 1-800-PBA-TOUR. Operators are standing by. Now you can wear the winningest shirt on the 96 PBA Tour, including the Tournament of Champions, and save $20 at show special price of $42.95 plus $4 shipping and handling. Receive free catalog with each purchase. 1-800-PBA-TOUR or fax 1-888-PBA-TOUR.
So instead of winning this series, they now go to a pivotal Game 7. Rich?
If you're really into sports, you'll really be into new ESPN, the magazine, issue after issue. You'll be involved like no sports magazine ever involved you before.
Do we have a problem here?
ESPN, the magazine, is big. Bigger in size, bigger with news, Pictures, player profiles, inside information, and amazing access to places you've never been before. So call now for ESPN the magazine. Get 26 issues, a year's worth, for just $1 an issue, saving you over 66% off the newsstand price. And you'll get this great freebie.
T-shirt.
The ESPN the Magazine T-shirt. 100% cotton with the world-famous ESPN the Magazine bullseye logo. ESPN the Magazine. At last, you have something to do when you're not watching ESPN.
Call 1-800-634-6363.
Welcome back to Tokyo Port Bowl. Norm Duke's in the fourth frame, and we have had 7 shots so far. Marshall, we're perfect. All strikes.
And Norm Duke knows the importance of getting this strike here and keeping the pace with Walter Ray. There's that same solid 10 he left in the 10th frame of the last game, Mike, and there was just nothing you could do about that. It was a great shot. He knows he threw it good, and had to make this fair.
And there's a graphic of a fact we commented on earlier when he won in 1983 at 18 years of age. If we do our math right, we can figure out how old he is now.
33-year-old Norm Duke flattening the ball out to make the 10-pin and has as much control with that release as anybody.
He does that in all releases, even with double wood or, the sleeper pins.
You see, once again, look how straight the fingers come out of the ball. There's no side rotation on that ball. That's why it goes dead straight. And that's really a very sound way to make the 10-pin. And also, he's very good at that, for the 4-pin, 7-pin spares. Sort of sneaks up at the line.
Trying to get back on track.
Well, we saw the ringing 10 on the right lane 22. Now on lane 21, he leaves the half pocket 10. Ball not quite high enough in the pocket.
Well, he chipped the 4 there the last time. Do you think he made a small adjustment?
Yes, I'm sure he did, Mike. I move a little deeper, trying to catch a little more oil in the front part of the lane. Once again, straight at the 10-pin. No problem, except for the fact that Walter Ray Williams has 4 strikes in a row.
And you don't anticipate him stopping.
Well, maybe Walter was watching Norm last game, and maybe he'll make a run at 300 this game. Oh, that ball was so far to the right of when he let that. Look at that smile. He's smiling because Walter Ray Williams knows he got away with one. Take a look at how far this ball goes out to the right. He swung this an extra 3 boards. Is he going to come back? Well, we know it will.
And you say, well, Walter never misses by 3 boards. He's dead-eye.
Walter can generate area on the lane just like the rest of the players, and even though he's very, very accurate, he'll use it.
Trying for 6 in a row.
Says, that's more like it.
That's flush, high flush.
Well, Norm Duke finds himself in quite a hole right now.
Well, he's experiencing what Ryan Shafer went through against him in the previous match.
Ryan's probably off to the side going, hey, now how do you like it, Norm? Still has a chance, but needs to start striking again right here, Mike.
6th frame. Perfect. Norm Duke needs a double as we take a look at this shot again.
Just a beautiful delivery from Norm Duke. Norm has the chance to shoot, I believe, 268 if he were to strike out. Right now, Walter Ray Williams working at a possible 300 pace. So I'm sure Norm knows that he needs to keep going.
Trails by 32, a strike here, and he'll cut it down to 22. And again, he was fiddling with that tape. For the double.
Ooh, 10-pin just barely falls over that time. Almost left the ringing 10 there, Mike, but was able to get the 6-pin to touch the bottom of the pin.
His body English is not as confident this game as it was the previous game.
The previous game didn't have 6 in a row staring him in the face. Walter Ray going for 7 in a row.
High flush again.
He gets it. And, we were commenting earlier at break how Walter Ray Williams never cuts a shot off. He always goes through it very, very firm. Watch this. There's nothing tentative about the way this man bowls, and I really think that may be his best asset.
Cutting a shot off means what?
I mean, being careful with it and not projecting the ball out towards your target. Not trusting your own game. For 8 in a row.
Well, we didn't see it, but we saw him, and he told us that he had 8 in a row. He needs 4 for 100,000. Will he get it? Well, we'll find out when we come back after this.
He's coming! Good one.
The AMF Bullwhip. Extraordinary power and control.
From Manhattan, you're going to have to go over to George Washington Bridge. You go about 4 blocks down. Then you're going to see an overpass with a sign that tells you how to get there. You can't miss it, guaranteed.
Let Foot Locker and Adidas take you to New York City for the ESPY Awards.
You're going to need change for the bridge.
Come to Foot Locker and register to win.
The Senior Tour tees off the 98 season on the Big Island of Hawaii, where Hale Irwin defends his crown against last year's champions on the course that Jack built. The 1998 MasterCard Championship. Coverage begins Friday at 3:30 on ESPN.
Black and white's raw, and that's what our sport is. We're tough. The guys are tough out there, and we're not running beauty pageants.
A woman who might say, ooh, the violence, ooh, it's cold, are going to say, hey, look at the tan on that guy. This is all in the fine-tuning.
Welcome back to Tokyo Port Bowl. Norm Duke, trailing in this match by 42 pins, has got to strike here in the 8th frame.
Now he's working on a double, a very important shot. Well, he knocks the 10 pin out, but leaves the 7, and for all intents and purposes, he really needed that strike to have a chance at Walter Ray Williams, who has not missed as yet.
Walter Ray perfect through 8 frames. If Norm would have struck there, he still would have had a potential 268. But now he's going to be, the best he can do is in the 240s with a spare, and if he strikes out.
We see that straight trajectory for the 7 pin, not unlike the way he shoots his 10 pin. And Norm's looking up the scoreboard right now and trying to figure out a way how he can win this match. He will have to strike out, and he'll need some help from Walter Ray Williams. It does not look good for Norm Duke in our second match.
Trajectory. Boy, you could say that word so well. I have trouble. I stumble over that word.
I try not to think about it.
9th frame, Norm Duke. And again, another solid 10, so that's part of the game of bowling. 10 pins are there, and he carried the last game, and this game, they're standing at it.
Yeah, if I can read lips, and I think I can, as Norm Duke was walking back after that shot, he said, I threw that perfect. And he did, but wasn't able to get the 10 pin.
Well, as part of our game, sometimes perfect shots still result in 9 or even less.
And you can see Norm clapping his hands as he walked off the approach. He was applauding for Walter Ray as if to say, come on, Walter, throw that 300 game.
For 9 in a row.
And perfect. Oh, that was a pretty good shot, wasn't it, Micah? That's just high flush, just gorgeous. Well, Walter does not seem to be showing a lot of emotion. As we see this shot, take a look at how deep that ball gets in the pocket. A lot of emotion when he throws the strike, but then he walks back, he cools himself down, calms down a little bit.
And again, 3 more strikes, $100,000.
We're in the same situation we were in the last game with Norm Duke. Now Walter Ray Williams, well, he's done everything else. Is it his turn to throw 300 on television? He's got a hook. And he shakes his head as if to say, well, maybe I got around it a little too much.
Just didn't get the heavy fingers, right? Yeah. I think he knew that he didn't throw it quite the way he wanted to.
Well, 9 in a row for Norm Duke in a 10 pin. 9 in a row for Walter Ray Williams Jr. in a 10 pin.
And the old rumble shot as he throws it straight, hits the finger hole or thumb hole or whatever the hole is, and
might
makes
be both of them.
Walter Ray Williams Jr. thrills us all again and shows why he's the #1 rated bowler in the world. Starts with 9, leaves the 10 pin, a strike here, and he'll finish with 279.
Well, where was that shot the last one, Walter? That's what you needed. A little slower speed. Ball hooked right back into the pocket as Norm Duke just finishing out the game.
And another 10 pin.
Leaving another solid 10.
Well, what can I do? They fell the first game.
What kind of adjustment do you make from leaving all those solid 10s except that you shake Walter's hand and you watch the next game?
Again, at the 10 pin. Two great players. Walter Ray came out on top this time. And Duke, knowing the competitor he is, he can't wait to get back at him again sometime in the future.
He'll get another shot at Walter Ray. They're both just too good not to meet up again sometime in the near future. I know that Norm's wife, Karen, and little boy Brandon would be very proud of Dad. He may not have won this tournament, but did very, very well. There it goes. How'd the 10-pin fall that time?
Norm Duke waves to the crowd, finishes with 225, but he comes up a little short in this match. Walter Ray wins 279 to 225. That earns Walter Ray Williams Jr. the right to move on in this tournament. He's going to take on Doug Kent, who is looking for his second title. Will he get it? We'll find out after this.
Did someone say Wings? Get tickets now for the Wings home opener versus Gary Gate and the Baltimore Thunder. This year, get ready for more scoring. Bring it on. More hitting. Bring it on. More action. More excitement than ever before. The Wings take on the Baltimore Thunder. Catch all the action this Friday, 7:30 at the Core State Center. Tickets start at just $13. Available at the box office and Ticketmaster. Get ready to take off. Bud Light presents the high-flying Philadelphia Wings. Get on board.
You're going to love Faulkner Mazda. You're going to love Faulkner Mazda's selection.
When I came here shopping for my automobile, they had every model, color. It's Faulkner Mazda.
You're going to love Faulkner Mazda's people.
At Faulkner Mazda, they're great people. They're just really great people.
And you're going to love Faulkner Mazda's low, low prices.
We looked around a lot of places, but when we bought our Mazda, we really got a good deal. Faulkner Mazda really gave us the best deal there was.
Faulkner Mazda, Northeast Philadelphia. Imagine a place where you can see the college basketball games you really want to see. Order ESPN Full Court, ESPN's pay-per-view college basketball package, and we'll bring you hundreds of the games you've been missing and all in your own backyard. To order, call your cable company or DirecTV at 1-800-GET-SPORTS.
Mike Durbin along with Marshall Holman. We're back at Tokyo Port Bowl in Tokyo, Japan. We're having the championship round finals of the AMF Japan Cup. We bowled 2 matches already. In the opening match, Norm Duke thrilled us by starting with 9 and won that match. And then in the second match, Walter Ray Williams Jr. started with the first 9 to defeat Norm Duke 279 to 225. Now he takes on 6'2", 190-pounder, 30 years of age, Doug Kent. He's won 1 PBA title, also has an ABC Masters Championship. They're really looking to break loose on the PBA Tour.
Yes, he is, Mike. And even though Doug has just has those 2 titles to his credit, he is a great player, both physically and mentally. And we can see a great player here, Walter Ray Williams. All those Bowl of the Years and titles. He's not thinking about it right now. He wants to win this match to have a chance to win the title. Starts out with a great strike.
Well, he's on almost nothing bet that as it's moved along.
We take a look at Doug Kent's earnings. Great year, 126,000 plus. Look at the power and the deep knee bend. Light hit, powers those pins off.
And I see he has a hairstyle similar to yours.
He's a very good-looking young man, Mike. I'm glad you noticed that.
Well, I certainly did notice that, Marshall. Doug Kent, I think one of the best qualities he has is his versatility. I've watched him, and so have you, in various places. We talked about the ball return here where it's up in front, and he gets around in front of it on the right lane, can take 2 steps on the right lane and 5 steps here on the left lane.
Well, that's due to his upper body strength. He can get away with that. Look at that projection. Fortunate he knocked out the 6 pin, does not leave the split. Looked for a second as if he was going to have an open frame, but a little bit of a break.
You think that was an errant shot, or is that lane starting to hook a little more?
Well, it's hard to say. With Doug Kent, he's just coming on. He's thrown a few practice balls over there, so he's still feeling his way around maybe that left lane, trying to get an idea. Maybe it is starting to hook more. I think we'll get a better chance. So once again, we take a look at the spare. Doug Kent switches balls hard, straight, and no problem. I think when we see Walter Ray Williams, and he just threw the ball on the left lane in the previous frame and had no problem with it. So, and Walter starts out with a double. It might just be a case where that left lane, Doug Kent isn't quite lined up on it yet.
Walter Ray Williams Jr. has just done everything in bowling. Seems to be getting better as he gets older. He's up to 38 now, but age doesn't seem to be slowing him down at all.
No, it's very difficult to beat somebody with the confidence of a Walter Ray Williams. He knows that he can perform, and he shows it week in and week out. Going for 3 in a row on lane 21.
Well, what Doug Kent almost left, he did lead.
Well, Walter's shaking his head. I don't know if he pulled that ball, or maybe the lane is starting to hook a little more. But he knows that's trouble.
He never seems to get angry, though. He's amazing.
Well, he's his best friend out there, and I think that's really something that we can all learn from. I know it wasn't anything I was very good at during my competitive years. I would get upset with myself, and sometimes it would reflect in the next shot. And Walter Ray, he doesn't let it bother him. It's over.
Just cruises right along.
Just get on with it.
Great shot of Tokyo Port Bowl. Beautiful facility on the 7th floor in this building.
Yeah, we're up there a ways. Oh, and a nice shot from Doug Kent. Leaves the 4-pin wiggling. It will not fall over. And he's sort of wondering, why didn't that strike?
He's staring at it and says, hey, I threw it perfect. I should have struck. That's the amazing thing about our sport, the sport of bowling, that you can make a lot of good shots, and suddenly the results are not what you want.
The pins seem to know if you're squeezing it a little bit. Once again, very hard and straight for the 4-pin. If you can get that ball to come off your hand with powerful, loose roll.
Powerful, loose roll.
It needs to be loose. If you're squeezing the ball, then you just can't get that nice free swing in order to get the good carry.
So we got the PLR, huh? We've heard of the PLO, now we got the PLR.
That's what the powerfully loose roll.
Right.
Very important.
Yeah, you're coming up with a new phrase here for bowling.
I appreciate you helping me out, Mike. That was loose.
And that struck.
And there is the result.
Doug Kent, slightly ahead of Walter Ray in this match, but we know Walter can come back. We'll be back right after this.
So instead of winning the series, they now go to a pivotal Game 7. Rich?
Rich, if you're a person who's really into sports, you'll really be into new ESPN, the magazine.
Don't you want to give us some scores? Are we still on the air?
Issue after issue.
What is going on here? This is weird.
You'll be involved like no sports magazine ever involved you before.
Hello? Do we have a problem here?
ESPN, the magazine, is big. Bigger in size. Bigger news, pictures, player profiles, inside information, and amazing access to places you've never been before.
Hey, what's up?
And because we know that you know what happened last week, even last night, ESPN the magazine is mostly about what happens next. The matchups, the players and teams to watch, the ins, outs, and insights that are the real reason we really love sports. And the real reason ESPN people like Dan Patrick, Peter Gammons, Chris Mortensen, and many of the best sports writers in America will be talking sports in every issue. So call now for your charter subscription to ESPN, the magazine. You'll get a special deal, 26 issues, a whole year's worth, for just $1 an issue. saving you over 66% off the newsstand price. And you'll get this great freebie.
T-shirt.
The first ever limited edition ESPN The Magazine T-shirt. 100% cotton with the world famous ESPN The Magazine bullseye logo right over your heart.
Can I get a witness for this?
Call now for your charter subscription to ESPN The Magazine. At last, you have something to do when you're not watching ESPN.
Call 1-800-556-0606. 1-800-556-0606.
Tune into SportsCenter for the best sports moments of '97. Which ones deserve a fan's choice ESPY? Watch SportsCenter or log on to ESPN Sports Zone and make your picks for the ESPYs.
The Japan Cup, there it is, Marshall. It's gorgeous.
Beautiful trophy, and I know Walter Ray Williams would love to get that. So would Doug Kent.
And Walter says, well, I'm back on track on the right lane. Now I got to figure out the left lane.
Now, here's the shot that I'm interested in watching right now, Mike. Walter Ray had trouble on the left-hand lane, came in high. As you can see, his career earnings, he's one of only 2 players to eclipse the $2 million mark. He's just a little bit ahead of Pete Weber. But what kind of adjustment will he make on this left lane, lane 21? As you can see, the third frame, 7 on the first ball, 2 on the second.
So if you were his coach, what would you tell him to do?
I think he should move 2 to 3 boards on the lane. On the approach to the left, and maybe scoot himself in about a board on the lane.
Okay. So the old traditional 2-in-1 move.
Yeah, either 2-in-1 or 3-in-1. Catch a little more oil in the front part of the lane, as we call it, the heads. Give himself a better opportunity to have the ball slide, because you don't want the ball hooking immediately. You don't want it to have it hook early. We'll see what Walter Ray does.
Same thing.
Well, he's got the same shot he had in the third frame, and he's shaking his head. I think he made the adjustment. I know he made the adjustment, but it's still hooked early.
And that lane evidently is breaking down, as we say. The oil getting dried up as he shoots at the 4-7, gets 2, open again, open in the third frame, now open in the 5th frame.
And all that confidence that Walter Ray Williams generally has, he's starting to doubt. Maybe not so much doubting himself, but doubting what is happening with lane 21.
Doug Kent now leads by 16 pins and can increase it to 26 with his first double of the match. Ooh, perfect shot.
Boy, you know, you really want to do that no matter who your opponent is, but when it's someone like Walter Ray Williams, if you're fortunate enough to have Walter Ray make a mistake, you've got to just jump all over him, because he has the capability of stringing strikes and coming back into a match. So when you get your opponent down, try and squish him.
Well, you know he'd squish you.
With aggravated regularity.
6th frame, working on a double, leading by 26. Can increase it to 36 with 1 more here for Doug Kent. Yo, hooked it, it did.
Great shot, trips out the 6th pin, got the 3 in a row. Doug Kent, a great looking delivery. We see the power, the way he waits for that ball. And the good carry. Doug Kent ranked 9th in the computer ranking, so having a very good career.
He looks very relaxed as Walter just stuffs it in there, leaves the 7th pin, and he says, well, guys, there's only so many frames, and I've had some bad breaks.
I don't understand how the pins seem to know when you've had an open frame. And it's like, all right, you're down. Now we're going to push you down even further. A solid 7 from Walter Ray Williams. He shakes his head. There's nothing you can do about that. That was what looked like a perfect shot.
Well, he's looking at the boards on the floor, counting over another move. 7th frame, down by 36 pins.
No, he switched balls.
He switched balls?
He switched balls and went right.
And went straighter. Walter Ray always coming up with something.
He's probably wishing he did this a little earlier, but how can you even think about switching balls after you just got 279?
Yeah, and he stuffed every shot on that lane for the first 7 shots on it, or 6 shots on it.
It's it baffles me. I don't understand what possibly happened to that left-hand lane so quick for Walter, but a little bit of help for Doug Kent.
Oh, the old bucket crumbler.
That's the second one we've seen today. We take a look at this shot. The ball sliding. Come on, hook a little bit. Tickle me over.
Well, we've heard of tickle me elbow. That's tickle me over. He leads in this match by 46 pins. Doug Kent trying to just cement the victory right here with one more. And he gets it. We'll be right back with the conclusion of this match after this.
Recently it was asked, is bowling really a sport? Does it really take persistence and endurance to knock down a few little pins? Is bowling even worthy of coverage on national TV? We know the answers to questions like these, and some people, they just wouldn't understand.
You're so lucky. Not one gray hair.
When a woman can run her fingers through your hair and can't tell you blend away your gray, that's a natural-looking result. And that's just what you get with a hair color called Just for Men. Simply shampoo in, then rinse. In only 5 minutes, this unique formula blends away gray, actually matches your gray to your real color. So nobody knows, even close up.
I just love your hair.
Just for Men. It looks so natural, even she can't tell.
Beauty, adventure, drama. All these and more can be yours in the wonderful world of art. And with this free art test from Art Instruction Schools, you can find out if you have the interest and desire needed to become a serious art student. To get your free art test without cost or obligation, call this toll-free number. Don't delay. Call this toll-free number now.
Call 1-800-633-3400.
Welcome back to Tokyo Port Bowl. Walter Ray trailing by 56 pins in this match. In the 8th frame, has to strike to have any chance.
It's a must-shot night. And there's that solid 10. That's a solid 10 that really cost Norm Duke in the match prior to this. And it really doesn't look good right now for Walter Ray. This going to be Doug Kent going up against Parker Bohn for the title.
Straight at the spare, and you notice he switched back to the other ball, that blue ball on the right lane. So he's using the green ball here on the left lane and the blue ball on the right lane. He's got his colors coordinated here, but it's not knocking down pins.
It just took him too long to figure out what to do on the left-hand lane, but in his defense, as he makes a great shot and leaves a 4-pin, I just don't know how you can think that fast after having so much success, 15, 20 minutes ago.
Sometimes you just can't anticipate if that lane breaks down in between frames.
No, it's part of the new bowling. I know in talking with David Ozio, who is definitely a nuts and bolts kind of a player, he talks about the warning signals of a lane breaking down. And if you leave a 4-pin, 10 years ago, if you left a 4-pin, you might just speed up a little bit. Now, if you leave a 4-pin, you better move your body in a little bit.
Doug Kent, 9th frame. Comes in light, leaves
a 2-8.
Okay, I couldn't tell. Maybe the 8-pin was up there. His eyes are getting older. Hard to pick those things up.
Yeah, he came in light on this lane in the last frame and sort of tickled him over. Now he comes in light once again. I think this is something he needs to factor in because he will be bowling in our next match.
At the 2-8.
He'll hook at it.
No trouble. Doug Kent trying to keep the stroke for the next match, going against Parker Bohn III for the title. Walter kind of saying, well, what can you do? I made good shots, did not get good results.
Yeah, I think he did make, for the most part, good shots. I think the one shot where he left a split, I believe in either the 3rd or the 5th frame. I think in the 5th frame when he left the split, he was a little bit off.
10th frame. Doug Kent, keeping that timing, keeping that release, keeping the speed, everything proper for the next match. Trying to anticipate, like you were just talking about, you know, is this lane breaking down? Do I need to fudge a hair deeper?
Beautiful looking release. Very, very strong. Slow and deliberate approach with a powerful release.
Seems mentally strong, too, as I talk to him.
Yeah, he's a man on a mission. He moved in even a little deeper on that shot. Leaves the ringing 10, but he knows he's in good position for the next match. He's got a good feel for the lanes. He's aware of the fact that they can change and will change.
And he would like to win this next match because that would be $50,000 to him. That's the winner's share.
Big money tournament. And we'll see probably maybe the most beautiful style, whether it be left-handed or right-handed, coming up on our next match, Parker Bohn.
Walter, 10th frame, just finishing it out. Another solid 10-pin. So he goes 10-pin, 4-pin, 10-pin. You know, he had 2 balls through the nose, got full penalty both times. It's just the way this, it winds up. He makes this with 180 after shooting 279. He almost goes 100 pins lower. At the 10-pin, and he has it.
Can strike for 181, and that would be a 98-pin turnaround.
98-pin turnaround the wrong way.
Oh, boy.
Well, it's nice to know it can happen to the world's best.
That certainly did.
Walter Ray does strike. He finishes with 181. Doug Kent wins this match 237 to 181. The handshake there. In our next match, Doug Kent now will earn the right to bowl for the AMF Japan Cup against Parker Bohn III. Who will win that match? Well, we'll find out when we come back. Don't you go away. Don't hit that remote. You stay right with us and listen to these messages.
The AMF Bullwhip. Extraordinary power and control.
Some say winning isn't everything. Some say losing builds character. Some say it's not whether you win or lose, but how you play the game. Some say statements like these were made up by people who don't use ebonite equipment.
I rolled the dice for $8.
I unloaded my Tonka for $12.
We went to Club Med for $18.
Smart investors know it. You get seriously low commissions and really fast trades with Ameritrade. Internet trade for $8. Touch-tone trade for $12. Or trade with a broker just $18.
I just sold a ton of steel for $8.
And that's one low price per trade, no matter how many shares you trade. Just call 1-800-592-1210.
I sold the store for $12.
Plus, when you open any Ameritrade account by April 15th, you get a free IRA for life. Call 1-800-592-1210 or visit our website.
Traded my Fiat for BMW. Unloaded BMW for Mercedes. All before lunch.
Ameritrade. The way to trade. Period.
Wow, what a roll when they all bowl. 52 alleys in a line. Modern equipment has streamlined the game with electric power line detectors. Hits and misses are projected on the screen by a scorecaster. Let her roll. And it's good. Thanks, Gene. So long, champ. From 7 to 70, they all bowl. Grandson, grandpa, or grandma, brother or sister, Mrs. or Mr.
Over Over the years, there have been many changes in the sport of bowling, and AMF has been instrumental in just about all of them.
Imagine bowling with the lights out, integrated sound system, and we have all of these magnificent laser lights. It gives it a very much of a nightclub approach.
Welcome to Chelsea Pier.
There's nowhere else I've seen that they take care of you. They cater to you at your lane, like this place.
We have state-of-the-art retractable bumpers that have trim lights that run down along. So the blinking lights on the bumpers really make it a little bit more exciting. And isn't it more fun to knock down more pins? Well, bumpers eliminate the chance of knocking down more pins.
AMF in general have done a lot for the bowling industry, not only on the product side. They've obviously spearheaded a lot of the most recent trends and developments in bowling with bowling technology, not only bowling equipment, but also the computer equipment, computer scoring.
But all that pressure and tension, and like you have to cope with it, and once you let go of the ball, it's all gone, and you just wait to see what happens, and then, you know, strike, and wow, and you all jump up and down, and it's just amazing. It's just great. I love it.
It's marvelous because you know you have the company behind you. You've got the best in equipment, the nicest atmosphere to work in, and just a wonderful surrounding. We've got 56 lanes here, and it's not uncommon for us to run anywhere between 6 and 10 leagues in one night.
We offer them the great game of bowling, but then we offer them the other facilities, the soft play areas for the younger kids, and an amusement arcade room, the billiard and the lounge. It's a great place to bring a family.
¿Bowling o bailando?
Todo junto.
Todo junto.
En este momento ha hecho muchos esfuerzos en Argentina para que el bowling naciera, porque para nosotros es nacer de la forma que lo está haciendo en México.
Well, we're back to Japan and Tokyo Port Bowl. We can see, Marshall, that bowling, thanks to AMF, is truly an international sport ready to launch into the 21st century.
It certainly is, Mike. They've made great strides, and really, especially the bowling in the dark with all the lights and the fog, and it's a great atmosphere. If you've never seen it, go to a center that has that facility and have a good time. It's a lot of fun.
Back to the present moment. In our championship match for the AMF Japan Cup, we have Parker Bohn III taking on Doug Kent.
And Parker Bohn is really a magnificent stylist. Just take a look at the way he takes his approach and puts his body in a great position to unleash through the ball, project it down the lane, and maximize the opportunity for striking.
He's won 13 titles, been a member of the PBA for 13 years, and currently 34 years of age, 5'11", 160 pounds. But that ball looks like it weighs 20 pounds as he throws it in there.
Great opening shot on lane 21, and you can see the power of that ball going from left to right. The lefty hooking the ball into the 1-2 pocket. Nothing but 10 pins in the pit.
And Doug Kent, power player from the right, so we've got two guys that really know how to hook that ball and rev it up. Left to right, which one's going to win?
Well, you have to like Doug Kent's chances right now. He's the one that's loose and ready, but boy, he didn't look very loose on that shot. Came in a little bit light in the last couple of frames of the previous match, and did so once again. He needs to figure out lane 22. 21 is the lane that hurt Walter Ray Williams. Doug's lined in on 21, but right now 22 looks like just a little bit of trouble.
Leaves the 2-5. He usually just goes hard and straight at these spares.
Changes balls.
You shoot it from the left side of the lane like that?
In the last couple of years, I have started shooting it from further to the left-hand side. Just with the way the bowling balls are now, especially if you don't switch balls, it's so easy to chop the 2-pin off the 5 because the back end's hooked so much.
So there's another tip for our viewers at home, you know, those 2-4-5, 2-5 spares, move to the left and go straight at that 2. Frame number 2. Perfect. Doug Kent.
Showing that he has lane 21 very much in command. We take a look at the power of Doug Kent.
Do you like those pre-bent knees as he goes up there like that?
I do. I like the way he gets himself into a low position and stays there throughout the shot. So I think it's a very good tip for the people watching. And if you wanted to copy somebody, take a look at Parker Bohn. Perfect balance. Got that light strike.
Rattles him off of there. Quick double, takes a quick 10-pin lead.
As we can see once again, Parker Bohn using a lot of lane there, just barely gets up to the pocket, shakes him over. The only 4-time PBA Sportsman of the Year, 90 through 94, and you know, the first few times I bowled against Parker, it kind of bothered me. I'd throw a shot and throw a strike, and he'd be giving me 5, congratulating me, and I'm thinking, well, aren't we supposed to be opponents? He's a good guy.
Trying for 3 in a row.
Great shot. Very aggressive. He knows how much this tournament means. It's a very prestigious event. $50,000 for the champion. Get a little different look at Parker. Long swing. Great reaction.
Well, right now, Kent's down 20 pins. Needs to get something going to stay in this match.
Needs to make some kind of an adjustment, maybe a little slower, a little more fingers on this on the right-hand lane. Well, whatever he did, it was perfect.
It looked like he did just have that loose arm swing that you're talking about and rev it up a little bit more.
He's got great speed control. I've seen him throw the ball very, very slow, and then at other times throw it with a lot of speed. So he really has a lot of different ways to attack the lane.
Cuts that lead in half. Strike here, and he'll even the match. Doug Kent, 4th frame, trying for 3 in a row. And he trips the 4 into
what a break.
What a break. Doug Kent has evened this match. Well, that'll put it on an even keel. We'll find out who will win when we come back after this.
Something hot, something new, something colorful is coming to bowling from the PBA. To order your all-new official PBA shirts by Munsingwear, just call 1-800-PBA-TOUR. Operators are standing by. Now you can wear a shirt on the 96 PBA Tour, including the Tournament of Champions, and save $20 at show special price of $42.95 plus $4 shipping and handling. Receive free catalog with each purchase. 1-800-PBA-TOUR or fax 1-888-PBA-TOUR.
This has got to be wrong.
What?
Our long-distance bill.
That high, huh?
No, that low.
People who use 10321 are doing a double take on their long-distance bill.
Must be someone else's.
You save over AT&T on every call in the U.S.
Every call is less, and all the calls over 20 minutes are 50% less.
You just dial 10321, then 1, the area code and number.
And the international rates are great. I could get used to this. Let's call someone.
Okay.
10321.
Oh, your mother.
Welcome back again to Tokyo Port Bowl. This is Mike Durbin along with Marshall Holman. We're in the championship match, and we're all even. Parker Bohn in the 4th frame, working on 3 strikes in a row, trying to take a 10-pin lead.
Important for him to keep his form from the previous frames. That's high.
And he leaves the 4-7-8. Well, you talk about coming out of those commercial breaks and making a good shot.
Very often you can just lose a little bit of your concentration, plus your hand can swell a little bit. I'm not exactly sure what happened to Parker on that, although it looked as if he wasn't quite at the line properly. His timing didn't look quite right on that shot.
Well, the way he's reacting, something bothered his concentration or something.
There. Yeah, it looked like he was probably talking with the tournament director about something. Hard and straight.
Every pin with the ball, no problem with the 4-7-8, but he falls 3 pins behind in this match.
Well, important for Parker to put that behind him. Set himself for a good shot here in the 5th frame. Very important match. Trying to become only the 3rd person to win the Japan Cup twice. Emilio Monticelli and Pete Weber, the other two who have already done that.
Pretty good company right there.
Very good.
And snaps on him, leaves the 2-4-7. So 2-7 counts in a row, Marshall.
And that shot, it almost like he was kind of running that ball out, but it really was never there as we take a look at his shot. It looks good from the side view, but look at that ball hook. That 2-4-7.
In a sense, he got a good break. He hit the nose twice and got no splits.
Still has a chance to make the spare. It's a moderately difficult spare, although should be converted and is.
But Doug Kent now sits on the bench and goes in front by 6 pins.
Yeah, he was very fortunate. If you're sitting there, you're thinking that your opposition has a good chance to strike. He's done nothing but strike early in the match. But Parker gets 7-count spare, 7-count spare. Doug Kent up by 6 with a chance to go up by 16. On that right lane that had given him a little bit of difficulty, coming in light. We'll see what he does here.
Ooh, the solid 9. Great shot.
Great shot and a very, very big break for Parker Bohn. That's the power of the new reactive resin bowling balls, Mike. Going right through the pins.
Well, you see that quite frequently nowadays. I know Pete Weber switched to a 15-pound ball to combat just that problem.
And he still leaves them, but not to the frequency that he used to. In fact, you see all the guys leaving solid 9s now on the right-hand side of the lane, solid 8s on the left. Even the guys who don't hook the ball very much.
Has the spare, but he keeps this match within 5 pins. So we're halfway through the championship match. Doug Kent, 5 pins in head. We can see the scoreboard. It tells us the story there. Both players working on spares. I got a feeling this one's going to be tight right down to the final frame.
It certainly looks like it has that possibility as Parker's asking a question about something. We're just a little too far away to hear, but talking over with the tournament director.
Trying to get back on track. Boy, solid 9, solid 10. 2 great shots. That's what makes this game so challenging, Marshall.
He'll pick up his spare ball, throw it hard and straight, and he'll sit back down knowing that he made 2 great shots and received nothing but 9 and spare for both of them. At least he hopes it's 9 and spare for this 10-pin.
At the 10-pin, right over the middle arrow. No trouble with the spare. 100 miles an hour at it.
Goes real hard.
But Parker, up in the 6th frame, trailing by 4 pins.
Given a little bit of a reprieve. You know, he's fortunate that those shots that Doug Kent threw did not strike. Keeps him very much in the match, only 4 pins down. Chance to throw a couple strikes of his own and get back in the lead.
He does more room and gets the light hit.
And now he comes back to lane 21 where he had a little problem. As we see once again, Parker Bohn kind of reroutes that swing a little bit from inside to out. Hooks the ball back up to the 1-2 pocket and shakes them all down. Left the 2-4-7 the last time on lane 21. He made the proper adjustment on 22 to get back into the pocket. What will he do here? Has to be careful. He's come in high on this lane the last time.
For the lead. Oh, the overcorrection and the 3-6-7.
Yeah, he made the adjustment. Got a little too far inside. The ball hit the conditioner. Just a little bit too far and left himself with a difficult split to try and make, and really a split that he's got to go for right now.
And how does he do that?
Well, he's got to get his ball to the right of that 3-pin, slide the 3-pin over to the 7, and the ball will take out the 6. He's got a chance at it.
Parker Bohn converting the 3-6-7 to stay just 4 pins behind in this match.
And what a momentum boost this is for Parker Bohn. Just a textbook kind of conversion. Beautiful shot.
Boy, you can see it there, just the way you describe it all the way.
He's feeling pretty good about himself right now.
So, Doug Kent, does that affect how he throws this shot? Not at all.
Great shot from Doug. He has no control over what Parker does, but he can certainly control his own destiny. He's still in the lead.
The lead by 4 pins, asking for a re-rack there.
Didn't quite like the way the pins were set, so he asked the tournament director for a re-rack. And if you do that in your first order of business, you're allowed to have one. Now, if you were to pick up your ball, then look at the pins, then ask for the re-rack, no matter how the pins were standing, you would not get it. So you have to make sure that it is your first order of business.
Okay, thank you. I need that education. That happened to be on one telecast recently. Something's wrong here. He's picked up the ball and put it back down, now staring at the pins. Maybe a pin in the channel that they have to get out.
Well, he's not going to get... I guess he's asking for another re-rack. Didn't like the way they were set.
Okay.
Now you only get 2 re-racks a game. He's taking them both in the same frame, so...
This shot, he really considers important.
He considers this very important. As you see by the graphic, the 1991 ABC Masters champion, he wants to add the Japan Cup to the list of titles.
For the double.
Well, ringing 10 pin the previous time on lane 21. Now he gets up and leaves a little bit of the half 10 and going to have to be content with making this spare and keeping that small 4-pin lead.
Tight match all the way through right here. One of these two guys is going to take home the prestigious title of AMF Japan Cup winner at the 10-pin to maintain his 4-pin lead. Has it. Doug Kent in the lead by 4 pins. Parker Bohn will be coming up and finishing it out. So will we in this match. Who's going to win? Well, we'll find out right after this.
This football season, it was hay to the victors. Now, Sports Illustrated celebrates Michigan's undefeated season with 2 great gifts. It's a fantastic national championship package, free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated. Start out with a true collector's dream. This hardbound, gold-lettered, individually numbered SI National Championship commemorative, free. You'll get a game-by-game look at the Wolverines' spectacular season all the way through the Rose Bowl. It's a collector's edition to savor forever. Call now and you'll also get this special souvenir hat celebrating the Wolverines' first national championship in 50 years. Both the hardbound commemorative and souvenir hat are free when you order 54 issues of SI for only $1.48 an issue. Save over 57% off the cover price. Use your credit card. Celebrate the #1 team in the nation with 2 great gifts from the nation's #1 sports magazine, Sports Illustrated. Get into it.
Hi, Chuck. Here's lunch.
Thanks.
How's business?
Not bad. Yours?
It's okay. Hey, what's that on your screen?
Oh, that. QuickBooks accounting software from the makers of Quicken. I called a toll-free number and got a free trial version.
My system works fine for me.
That's what I thought. But if you have bills to pay or customers who owe you money, you really ought to try this.
Yeah, I really don't have time to learn new software.
Well, if you can write a check, you can use QuickBooks. Answer a few questions, and it tailors itself to your business. Now I create invoices like these.
Yeah, but my business is so different from yours.
Ah, but that's what makes QuickBooks so great. It's the #1 software for any small business. It has accounts payable, accounts receivable, even payroll and inventory, and you never have to enter information twice. There's over 60 customizable reports that put you in control. Know if you're making or losing money.
Sounds pretty good. I'm going to get that free trial version.
Nothing to lose.
Call 1-800-544-1000. That's 1-800-544-1000.
Again, the winner of this game is going to receive this beautiful Japan Cup, Marshall.
Yeah, not to mention 24,500 more than the runner-up. It's 50,000 first, 25,500 second. They both want the trophy. They both want that check. Couple of frames to decide it.
8th frame, Parker Bohn. Oh, a solid 7. Great shot there.
Beautiful shot from Parker. Looked deep. It looked like sometimes you get a ring in 7 or a ring in 10 and you can kind of tell. That one was continuing to drive towards the pocket. Looked like it was going to strike, but it didn't.
Cross lane at the 7th pin, a conversion, and he's 5 pins behind. Had it measured just right.
Just right.
Parker Bohn, the 9th frame now. Foundation frame in bowling. There's our scoreboard. We can see both players on spares. 5 pins the difference.
Well, he needs to strike here. Now, if Parker were to strike here and then strike out in the 10th frame, he cannot shut out Doug Kent. He needed that strike in the 8th frame, and then the 9th and 10th to shut him out.
Still a big shot here, though.
Very big shot. Whatever Parker does, Doug will have to respond. Beautiful shot.
So Parker sets up his 10th frame. If he takes it out, he could finish with 233. What's Doug's Kent scenario?
Well, as we take a look at Parker on replay with this beautiful shot on the left-hand lane, if Doug Kent were to strike out, he can shoot a possible 238. So here we go. It's a 9th frame for Doug Kent. Strike here, a couple of strikes in the 10th, and then a minimal fill. He's got it.
Takes that deep breath. And the light hit.
The friendly light hit. You know, if you could get your ball into that light hit, whether you be left-handed or right-handed, I really think the percentage you carry is even better than the flush hits.
10th frame now. Right now, 5 pins the difference, so he can shut out Parker.
He can shut out Parker. I believe he needs 2 strikes and 6 pins to shut out Parker Bohn. Parker knows the score. He knows exactly what's happening.
And, of course, the scoreboard again shows the situation. One of the biggest shots of Kent's career right here.
Very important tournament.
Boy, hard to throw it any better than that.
What a great shot, boy. That 6th pin just slapped that 10 right on out of there. Parker knows one more strike. And it's going to be a 2nd place finish for Parker.
Boy, did you see how unbalanced the Kent was? He stayed down. You know, you talked about those pre-bent knees, and he was down all the way through that shot.
Yeah, but very, very solid shot in an extraordinarily pressure-packed situation.
This one, basically for the win.
This one's for the tournament. We can pretty much give him the 6 pins on the fill ball, but this strike is the one he needs to shut out Parker Bohn.
Oh!
Well, if you thought he threw the 1 in the 10th frame good, Mike, he just threw that one a lot better.
Woo! Doug Kent. Now, interestingly enough, his thoughts flying through his mind are probably, well, don't hit your ankle, don't go in the gutter, just hit the headpin. Will he throw it straight at this?
Well, I'm just wondering if he'll take his spare ball and just give it the old high hard one. We'll have to see. No, he's got his strike ball, but he does throw it harder and straight, and that's a 4 pin, and that's enough. And a very happy Doug Kent, and a great sport, Parker Bohn III. Gives Doug a hug.
Well, he earned it. What a game he bowled. 237, but he hardly made an errant shot throughout that whole game. The first frame is about it.
Very solid.
Parker, the professional that he is, finishing it out, dead flush. And again, back to that 8th frame. If he carries that 7 pin there, he's still in this match.
That's correct. It's just a tough break for either player to lose this match. Really a very well bowled match on both ends. Parker did have a couple of frames in the middle of the match where he came in high, but he made that nice split conversion. He threw a lot of good shots.
And he crunches the 6th pin for the second one of the 10th to put him in the 230s. A strike, and he'll finish with 233.
Well, he'd like to figure out a way to get 14 or 15 pins on this ball, but
there's only 10 down there.
It's not going to happen, Parker. Still a great week.
And he gets 8th to finish with 231. Our champion, Doug Kent from Canandaigua, New York, 237. Parker Bohn, 231. A lot of strikes from both players in this match. Very professionally bowled match. He's talking to Kevin Shippey there. Of course, we see the great Walter Ray on as a spectator. Some of the other players in the background. Mark Williams in the background there. Some of the other participants in this tournament.
You know, both of us bowled the Japan Cup back in 1985, and it really is, it's a lot of fun. They're very appreciative crowds. The hospitality from the proprietor is just magnificent.
We'll be back to wrap up our coverage of the AMF Japan Cup after this.
Welcome to another episode of the Psychic Auto Network.
The expert psychic was absolutely right. I got my credit approved at the used car warehouse.
The psychic knew that the used car warehouse would approve me for the car I really needed.
Psychic friends everywhere are discovering the used car warehouse. The car and credit you really need is just a phone call away. Our credit approval specialist can get you approved no matter how bad your credit really is. And it's absolutely free. Call now, 1-800-925-CAR. The used car warehouse.
Hi, I'm Susan Senegar.
And I'm Mary Sue Milliken of Food Network's Two Hot Tamales.
And Tamales World Tour.
We're taking a sneak peek at the New Year, New You coupon insert, and you'll find it in your Sunday papers January 4th.
It's jam-packed with great coupons and special offers on your favorite brand names.
You'll also find out how you can win a rejuvenating trip to Florida's fabulous Sanibel Harbor Resort and Spa.
So pick up the New Year, New You coupon insert January 4th.
And catch us on the Food Network.
ESPN magazine is gonna be fat, but please, no swimsuits.
Yeah, no bikinis.
No one.
No thongs.
None of that. All nude. Tastefully done.
But definitely all nude.
That's important.
Very important.
Yeah.
To be tasteful.
ESPN's coverage of the Pro Bowlers Tour has been brought to you by AMF, where bowling always means fun. This year's champion, Doug Kent. A very relieved Doug Kent. What he's going to receive is this gorgeous Japan Cup trophy. He's being asked what he was thinking in the ninth frame.
Well, when I got up in the ninth and I was, I think, 4 or 5 pins ahead of Parker, I said, hey, I know he's probably going to label all 4, so I think I better get him. So I just made the best shots I could, and luckily they struck.
His answer is being relayed out to the Japanese audience right now. They're also thanking him. The Japanese are very big on courtesy and politeness. As you can see, he has this huge wreath around him. Almost looks like he's in Hawaii. The 4 other finalists this afternoon. Right there. The trophy. As it gets caught on his wreath there, Marshall. You have a little trouble there with the ornament fee and the trophy. Don't see a check in there yet, but I'm sure you got that $50,000. Parker Bohn talking to Dave Schroeder.
The Japanese people, they can't give enough. They really are a very, very gracious people, and we have a lot of fun being there.
A great telecast tonight. Some of the outstanding bowlers and up-and-comers on the PBA Tour. Doug Kent bowing to everyone. Bowing's very big in Japan also. Your impressions of the telecast?
Well, I was very, very impressed with the way that Doug Kent came in the 9th and 10th frame, knowing that Parker Bohn was waiting in the wings to come out there and take advantage of any mistakes that he might have made.
And as you say, they keep giving him things. There's another trophy that he's received, part of the pageantry of the AMF Japan Cup. Doug Kent, worthy champion, a player that I think that we're going to hear big things from in 1998. He's our champion here at the AMF Japan Cup. For Marshall Holman, this is Mike saying so long from Tokyo, Japan. This has been a presentation of ESPN.